Zoboomafoo!
With the Crap Brothers!
While walking in the woods one day, Chris and Martin saw something strange. A little weeping lemur liked to bounce and play. They followed their new bouncing friend, not knowing where this adventure would end. The animals were in it just around the bend. Where they're going, I don't know. How to get there, come on, let's go. Me and you and Zoboomafoo. Come along and see what's new. We're doing the things that animals do. New animal friends to see. Animal Junction's the place to be. Elephants charging, baboons are leaping. Wild dogs running and nobody's sleeping. Me and you and Zoboomafoo. Come along and see what's new. We're doing the things that animals do. Me and you and Zoboomafoo. Come along and see what's new. And Animal Junction be waiting for you. Zoboomafoo. Zoboomafoo is a beloved PBS Kids show from PBS Kids from 1999 to 2001, having 2 seasons full of animal adventures. I'm so confused as to why it got cancelled or why it wasn't more critically acclaimed. It was such a great TV show. It was so great, in fact, that I sang the theme song just for you guys. It stars Chris and Martin Kratt, who go on little animal adventures to tell us all about their beloved knowledge of animals and all this other stuff, all with a leaping lemur named Zoboomafoo. And Zoboomafoo was played by both a real lemur and an animatronic lemur, more so a puppet. And a puppeteer played Zoboomafoo and did the voice and whatnot. But the real Zoboomafoo was played by an actual lemur. Now, when he would come into the scene, he would be hopping along the trees, and they would call him, Zabu, and obviously he would answer the call, all with this, face and whatnot. And it was pretty cool. And then during the show, he would also have a claymation of Zoboomland, which, if you're thinking to yourself, what the is Zoboomland? Well, Zoboomland was his claymation little homeworld where he would talk about his adventures with people of Zoboomland. And I have 2 episodes on VHS, and I think preserving this show would be amazing for kids of this decade and this age, really, because there's so many shows that the kids have yet to see that would shape their mind for the better, honestly. Like, there's Between the Lines, there's Cyber Chase, Arthur, Mr. Rogers, just to name a few, and Bob Ross as well. I've done so many different videos on Bob Ross. But Zoboomafoo is deserving of a retrospective, so we're going to talk about Zoboomafoo in this video here. Alright, follow with me here. We're gonna go in here, this room here. So, we're back over here, and on the couch, the infamous couch where I do most of my videos here, and we actually have pretty much every episode of Zoboomafoo on this hard drive right here. And let's see if we can get this going here. So they're in alphabetical order, not in numbered order. So we have every single episode, for the most part, of Zoboomafoo. And I want to show you a little bit of the magic of Zoboomafoo and my favorite parts of Zoboomafoo. There's a few things that they do every episode. They do, obviously, the intro. They have the Going to the Closet song. If I can talk today. The Peregrine Falcon, which gives a male, or the hawk, or whatever, the eagle, a bird, swoops in. And when you think that, you think I want to say, it swoops in and takes Zoboomafoo. No, it swoops in, gives a male, and the male is read by a female, a younger female, not like a daughter or a sister or anything of the Kratt brothers, but someone who knows animals very well. She changed from season 1 to season 2, which was interesting. And And they also do the song at the end. These animals are a friend of mine song, whatever you want to call it. And this damn lighting, because windows, whatever. But we're gonna dive into what made Zoboomafoo so great, why I love Zoboomafoo so much, and why it's still one of my favorite things about my childhood. In every episode, after the opening intro, Chris and Martin are having to see an animal of the day that they would showcase in the episode. So they would be like, oh, I bet Zabu would love to see this animal. And they would go out into the window where the trees are, where they know Zabu resides. Every single episode, he's there. Just like clockwork. Literally, he's right there. And they would, hey Zabu, hey Zabu. And then they would go to the snack machine. They would hit the snack of the day. Usually it's garbanzo beans or banana or some kind of fruit or nut. They would give it to Zabu. Zabu would get Mungansika and spin around and then turn into the puppet. As a kid, I thought that was the coolest thing ever. I didn't distinguish the difference between real Zabu and puppet Zabu. I didn't think about the difference. But now that I'm older, I see the difference. Clearly, the face is 10 times different. Clearly, you could tell that it's a puppet. You could clearly tell. But as a kid, you don't know the difference. You just see it as, oh, now it talks. And when I was growing up, that was my favorite thing. Seeing him get a Mungansika, just the coolest thing ever. Now, after that, Zabu would also see his own animal. He would see the mystery animal. And he would sing a song about the mystery animal. Who could it be? And basically the mystery animal would be some kind of creature that he doesn't know exists. And Chris and Martin would explain what the creature is, or what the animal is, to him, giving the viewers like an insight on the animal and whatnot. My favorite animal they've ever encountered had to be the elephant. The elephant is the coolest animal that they've brought to the junction. The main story from Zoboomafoo is that it's teaching kids about learning about different animals through Chris and Martin. Chris and Martin know a lot about animals, and they're teaching you little by little each episode about each animal that they see. You usually see two animals an episode, or three, and it's pretty darn cool if I do say so myself. I love Zoboomafoo. I've watched it my whole life. I've still watched it, growing up, and I don't see the reason why any other kid should not watch it. They have a lot of jokes. They have a lot of funny humor in the jokes that you get taught a lot. Even Chris and Martin even goes on location to look at different animals. It's that's probably my favorite part of the show is seeing them go into the closet, getting their stuff to go on a trip, and then they go on location, and it's the funnest part of the show. And there was one specific episode that I loved the most, where Chris and Martin are biking. They're bike riding, and they fall into the ocean, and it's hilarious. And there's so many great moments from Zoboomafoo that I can't recall them all, but just know that you're getting into a great, great show. There's so much about it that I just can't say enough about the show. Now, the one thing I dislike about the show is that it's so short. I mean, 2 seasons? There's nothing online that says why it got canceled, so do they just not want the show to keep going? Did they just have no interest in the show any further? I mean, I don't get it. It's a great show. Now you got, Wild Kratts. And Wild Kratts is an animated version of Zoboomafoo, so to speak. It's sort of like similar, but it's not, because Chris and Martin are touring now, and they're doing like their thing, interacting with fans and stuff. But it should have been more than what it was. As a kid, I thought it had millions of episodes, but it didn't. Regardless, it's probably the best show in the PBS Kids library, and if you can find it online like I did, you'll find so many great moments and episodes with Zoboomafoo, and I urge you, no, I implore you, show this to your kid growing up. Show this to your child. From the age of 2 to 5 to even 8, honestly, you would get so much value out of this show, and there's not much more I can say about this, really. Um, one of my favorite memories growing up was grabbing a bowl of mac and cheese that my mom made. It was like some cheap, some cheap shit mac and cheese, or some Kraft mac and cheese, or the gooey ooey gooey Velveeta mac and cheese. You know, the cheese sauce, not the cheese powder. Like the powder was disgusting, but the cheese sauce. If you had that, you were living large growing up. You were living large. Now, grabbing some of that mac and cheese, watching some Clifford the Big Red Dog, some Between the Lines, and Zoboomafoo. And I would always watch it like clockwork every single day. I would do that like crazy. And one day, PBS Kids decided, hey, we're not going to play these shows anymore. We're not going to, nope, not going to do that. And I've tried to find out what the reason was for that, but they just stopped playing them. They stopped. And there's no reason why they did, they just did. So, this is my love letter to PBS Kids and Zoboomafoo. And that was my retrospective on the show, Zoboomafoo. Very deserving of a retrospective because it's one of my favorite TV shows of all time. It's a show I grew up on. I literally watched it every time it was on. Literally every time it was on. There was not a time that I didn't watch it. Usually I would watch it, like I said, in circulation with other shows from PBS Kids, but I wanted to watch it as much as I could of Zoboomafoo. And I felt like the episodes were endless, but to know that it only had 2 seasons, which I keep harping on, but it's true, only 2 seasons. Why? I mean, there's a generation of kids who've never yet watched Zoboomafoo or don't know what it is. How is that even fair to them? It's such a great show. You need to watch it. Anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from JimmyJunks, hit subscribe.
Zoboomafoo was made possible by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.